I'm Leslie Werlin, and we're going to talk today a little bit about how to do a jelly plate print. And you can use them as collage papers, book covers, cards, frameable artwork, feathers. I did a thing on feathers for my son's wedding where I printed on all the feathers. I think you saw that at the fall show, the printed feathers, and I gave those as gifts to to the people there. So there's a multitude of things you can do with it. You can put it in your collage, put it on thin paper, and put it in collage. It's pretty diverse, and it's really easy and fun to work with. You can print on drawing paper, fabric, deli paper, canvas, almost anything that will take paint. And you can use alcohol ink, you could use acrylic, you can use all kinds of things. It's just fun to experiment with it. There's no wrong way to do anything. Any inexpensive acrylic paint will work, and if you like a particular paint, you should use that. I usually use inexpensive craft paints because they work okay and I'm not spending a fortune on them. You can use materials like stencils, stamps, doilies, yarn, bubble wrap. Anything that creates texture is going to show on your plate. I'm just going to say a couple things about the care of the plate. The plate can be cleaned with soap and water or with wipes. You can use wipes. It comes with 2 pieces of acetate on it, and you want to keep the acetate on when you're not using it. And when you're printing, you want to keep the acetate on the other side because the moisture will leach out of it, and you want to keep the plate as moist as possible. There's a gazillion, and you don't want to use anything that you poke into it, like anything sharp. There are a gazillion YouTubes that you can watch, and I would suggest that you do because it really is inspiring. You can rip collage papers, and we cut some out just for the silhouettes, but things like this, put it down, and you're going to get a print like that. So you could combine this with a texture or something like that. I use combs on it. I take yarn, and you get a really interesting effect with the yarn because all these little pieces kind of show on there. There are just some stencils. I have stencils here that you can use, round stencils that are doilies, things like this. Anything like that will work. Feathers, put it on there, and you'll get the print of the feather. I'm trying to see what else. There's tons of stamps, and there's even some rollers with texture on them that you can roll right across. Corrugated cardboard is really interesting. I call this sequin waste. And, anything that you can think of that's got interesting texture is going to work. So when you start this, you're just going to take your paint, and you don't need a ton of paint. And I'm just going to put 3 little dots on here. I always put too much. It's just, and the other thing that you should know is that when I do these, I print over and over and over on the same piece. So I'll do a print, let it dry, and I just throw them on the floor. You should not do that here on the rug. But I put them aside, and I can let it dry a little and then continue to print on it until I like it. So if I do a print and I think, it's nothing special, I'll print something else on top of it. And one of the things that I love to do is to draw on top of them. So once they're dry, I like to sit down at night and sit and draw on them. And I put a couple examples over there for you to see of things that I've done with it, and they're fun. It's just really easy and fun to do. So I'm just going to put a little down.
Can I ask
Yes.
back up and ask
Yes.
a question?
Yes.
Are you talking that ideally we should have left the on here there was like a
Yes. Yes.
film?
Yes. Yes.
And if we don't have,
Just cut a piece of acetate up. Do you have acetate paper?
Okay, so not this alone, also
Right, I always keep that on there. I think it keeps it in,
moisture.
it keeps it moister.
And only on one side, clearly, because the other
Well, you
side's-
could put it on the other side if you want to when you put it away. You know,
all right.
you know. But even when you're printing, you don't want to put it on the paper, straight on the paper. I would put it on the acetate. For today, it's fine. But you know, I always leave one. So here, I'm putting paint on. I have acetate on one side, on the bottom. On the bottom, yes. I keep the acetate on the bottom so that so that it doesn't leach out.
She's saying she leaves hers on.
I leave it, always.
Now, did you tell what colors you're using?
Yeah, no, I did not.
You're a Vanna.
Okay, I put 3 colors on here. And I'm just going to take my roller and just roll it on till I have some coverage on here.
You're rolling it, okay, you're just rolling the paint out.
I'm
You're
rolling-
not rolling it over a stencil at this
No, I don't roll it over the stencil. Generally, I always roll my color onto the plate. And you can print with the stencil on or the stencil off. You'll get a different print. I like to usually take the stencil off.
Is that a regular, what do they call them, brayers?
It is a regular brayer. So I'm using a brayer. If you don't have a brayer, I'm sure you could, you know, put it on with a little difficulty with a credit card. I don't know. This,
Wooden spoon, maybe?
yeah, a credit card. Yeah.
Back of a wooden spoon or something?
Wooden spoon is going to scrape it. So I'm just going to take, I'm going to take a doily and I'm just going to press it down. And I'm going to put this down here. And this is not going to lay flat, so I'm going to hit it like this.
What you end up doing is put paint on.
Yeah, I'm picking paint up. And I'm going to take the paper and I'm going to just put it down, rub. It's really a very simple process.
Is this the paper that you're printing on, Leslie?
This is copier paper. We passed out mostly, you really can do it on any paper. Now, this would not be exciting enough for me as it is, so
Hold it up here.
Throw it on the floor.
So I would throw it on the floor and keep going. Yeah, let it dry and keep going. That's pretty much the process. I hardly ever clean the plate. I clean it with another piece of paper perhaps, but I don't get up and clean the plate till I'm finished printing. Yeah, yeah. So you can see that I've picked up most of the color. This is a dirty plate because I've used it so much, but I picked up most of the color. I mean, you could use a wipe, keep a wipe with you if you want, and clean it, but there really isn't, you don't have to clean it unless you're looking for a very particular look. And I generally have no idea where I'm going with it when I do it, you know.
Even if you're changing colors?
I would probably just use a piece of copier paper and lift the rest of it off, and then maybe print on it again, just because it's a pain in the neck to get it all wet, and then it's soggy, and it's a lot of cleanup, yes.
So, and the paints you're using today are acrylic?
I'm using acrylic. I've mostly used acrylic. I understand you can do it with alcohol ink, which might be really interesting.
I did try it with watercolor, but very thick.
Yeah, I would think you would need it thicker because it probably rolls all over the plate. It resists it. And you might get a really interesting look with the resist. So, yeah. Yes?
You know what's great paper to use? The paper that Wegmans wraps their subs in.
That's deli paper.
It's got a little design. in it,
Yeah.
too, so-
Yes, so you can work on paper that has a design already and get some interesting things, or print on, you know, newsprint, although newsprint might stick, you know, it just has a lot of fiber in it. But it's just fun to experiment with. There's no right or wrong. You'll find yourself, you know, taking off with it. If you get into it, you know, you can do a lot of different things with it. Yes. So we have a couple of suggestions to people. I did make once years and years ago, and I think I used it once or twice. There is a recipe here for making your own gelatin plate if you like. I haven't used it that much because of the size of it. It was a square, and I had only a square pan to make it in. So there are recipes up here if you want to look at it. Also, you have talked about the, what is it, a baking sheet?
I have a baking, the silicone mat to try today because I haven't used it, but I've seen it on the internet that people are printing using that as their base. So, I'm gonna try it today and see what happens with it, but, yeah, I don't know. We do have a lot of experience within the room, so I think people who have done different things, should share them with the table or with other people, so that we, share our experience, because I know that some people have done quite a bit of it.
Does anyone want to share? Yes?
Oh, I just got a question.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
If I put my paint down and then I want to use like a texture,
Yeah.
I just put
Boom,
that,
boom, 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 boom. Yeah,
and
just go all over it.
What about if I want to use a picture from a magazine?
There is a process to do that, and I would look it up online because it shows you how to do it. I think you're putting it down, and then I think you paint over it, but I don't know the whole process. I've never done it. But they, yeah, it might not be a great thing to try today, but it's definitely an interesting process.
And you find that, like, this it says premium, does it make a difference?
I don't think it makes a difference. I mean, some people love certain kinds of paint and the way it looks. I go to Craft Bits and Pieces and pick up their 50-cent acrylic paints and use those. Yes, I don't know if any of you are familiar with that place, but it's a great place to pick up inexpensive art supplies.
What was it?
Craft Bits and Pieces in Fairport. Craft Bits and Pieces, yeah.
Yeah, I just went there the other day and bought a bunch of paint.
Yeah, it's great, yeah.
50 cents a jar usually.
Any other questions?